Hi guys, so here Anwari here, co-founder of Sublime Trading, here with your daily update for the UK and US indices for Friday the 17th of April. If you're new to these daily updates guys, then I recommend starting with the recording that's pinned to the top of our Facebook page to get a good understanding of what I cover in these daily updates. Okay, so let's start with the FTSE 100. This is our three-screen setup. We have the monthly in the top left, weekly in the top right, and we have our daily chart here at the bottom. If we start with the monthly time frame, we know that price is finding support at the low of 2016. We can see April is a bullish looking candle, and so we could potentially be seeing a bullish end to the week. If we move across to the weekly time frame, we can see this pullback in play. Now if we look at this week's candle, it was bearish. The bulls have come in and started pushing price back up. We of course want to see how today ends, being Friday, but ultimately we really want to see the £6,000 number cleared and then further strength back towards the 200 moving average and the 50 simple moving average. If we come down to the daily time frame, we can see price is below the 200 moving average, it's below the 50 simple moving average, however it's above the 20 simple moving average. This black line here is the low of 2016. We can see that price is trading above this level, and Friday so far is looking bullish. If we get a break and a close above this high, which is the 14th of April, then that will be an early sign of further strength through these resistance levels ahead. If price clears the 50 simple moving average, then we're likely to see strength back to the 200 simple moving average. So we are in an interesting position looking at the weekly time frame. Is this a temporary pullback before a move back to the downside? If price clears the low of March, then we could see further weakness, or are we going to see strength back towards the moving averages? Patience really needed here until we see a clear move in price. Now if we move across to the US indices, starting with the Dow Jones, on the monthly time frame, we know that April is bullish so far, trading above the low of 2019. A close above this level by the end of the month will be a strong sign of further strength towards the high of 2019. Now on the weekly time frame, we can see that this pullback has taken price to the 200 simple moving average, which is currently acting as an area of resistance. If we get a move through this moving average, then we're likely to see further strength to the 50 simple moving average, or this area could hold strong as resistance and price could remain below this level, move into an area of consolidation or even weakness back to the downside, and then a break and a close below the low of March will suggest a continuation of the downtrend. If we come down to the daily time frame, we can see prices below the 200 moving average and the 50 simple moving average, but currently trading above the 20 simple moving average. What we want to see now is further strength potentially through the 50 simple moving average towards that 200 simple moving average, and that will then be a strong sign of strength in the market. Ultimately, if the 200 moving average is cleared, then we're likely to see strength back to the all-time high. Okay, the S&P 500 will have a similar look to it on the monthly time frame. We can see that price is bullish so far in April, with price finding support at the low of 2019. On the weekly time frame, price is already above the 200 moving average. What we're looking for now is momentum potentially to that 50 simple moving average and the 3,000 round number. On the daily time frame, we've had bullishness come in. Price is now immediately trading below the 50 simple moving average. A break through this level, and we're likely to see price move to the 200 moving average and that 3,000 round number cluster. This area is cleared, then we're likely to see further strength back to the all-time high. Now on the Nasdaq, on the monthly time frame, this is leading the way in terms of strength. On the monthly time frame, we can see bullishness. Price is just below the low of 2019, which is acting as resistance. Now if we move across to the weekly time frame, price is above the 200 moving average. We can see good strength to the upside. Price is also trading above the 50 simple moving average. A strong week for the bulls so far this week. We really want to see how today ends to get a confirmation of what kind of candlestick we're dealing with. And on the daily time frame, we can see that price is above the 200 moving average. It's gapped up through the 50 simple moving average, and of course it's already above the 20 simple moving average. So potentially we could be seeing further strength. Yesterday's bar we had another breakout, so we could be seeing strength back to the all-time high. So the Nasdaq is very much leading the way. If price does on the monthly time frame, as already mentioned, clear that the high of 2019, that's a strong sign of a continuation back to the current all-time high. Okay, let's move to the S&P 500 to get an idea of pre-market action. On the monthly time frame, we can see that the candlestick is bullish for the month of April so far. We are, of course, still midway through April. We still have a good few days left before the end of the month, so this candlestick could look very different, but at the moment we're seeing very much bullishness to the upside. If that 3,000 round number is cleared, then we're likely to see strength back to the the high of 2019 and then the all-time high. Now, on the weekly time frame, price is also above the 200 moving average, but just below the 50 simple moving average, which is clustered with the 3,000 round number. But we are seeing bullishness this week, so again, we want to see how the candlestick ends. Now, if I open up the daily time frame, we've had an interesting start to Friday. We've had a gap up, quite a significant gap up, which has taken price through the 50 simple moving average. So this gap up is suggesting further strength back to the upside. Now, if we see momentum follow through, price is then likely to move to that 200 simple moving average. Of course, being Friday, we could see some element of profit taking, and this gap could, of course, be filled. We really need to see how the week ends. Today ends, Friday ends, for us to get a really good idea of how this week will conclude and potentially what we could see in the week ahead. So it's just now a waiting game. Let's see how Friday plays out, and we will then get a better idea of price action into next week. That's me for today, guys. Please like, comment and share, and I will see you on Monday with the first recording of next week. Have a lovely weekend.